Joining us now, Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts. She's out this week with her new book entitled Persist. I love it. I loved your last book, and this one I can't wait to talk to you about. I just want to get to some news of the day and ask you, how is it going on the different legislation we're working on out there, infrastructure, police reform? How is it going working with Republicans, especially those where there's sort of the, excuse the pun, elephant in the room of January 6th?
You know, it's tough. And working with Republicans right now really means working with one here or two over there. It's not as if there's really a coherent push, and Mitch McConnell is saying, I want to come in the room and see what we can do together to build a stronger infrastructure package. Instead, it's kind of carved off in little pieces. And I admire what President Biden's doing. He's saying it's important. We want to be open-handed here. Come on in, Republicans, and help us do it. But understand this. We are going to move forward. We're going to get done what needs to be done.
Does it feel like Donald Trump's aura is still there with these Republicans, especially in light of what we're seeing now with Liz Cheney in the House and senators who keep sort of taking the trek back to Mar-a-Lago? And I'm trying to figure out how you work together on anything when you have this incredible assault on the Capitol and a disagreement as to where it came from and how it erupted.
Well, certainly with a lot of them, they are so focused on Donald Trump that they can't really focus on getting work done in the Senate. But look, the feel is different because now we have a Democratic majority. Itty tiny, thin Democratic majority, but it's a Democratic majority. And this gives us a chance to move forward on the things the country needs. Infrastructure, for example, is very popular across the nation. And, you know, we need roads and bridges. We need them in places where Democrats live and where Republicans live. So it's really kind of the case of the Democrats are saying, we're going to keep pushing forward because the nation needs us. Please, Republicans, come and join us. But too many are still turned toward Mar-a-Lago.
Senator Warren, when you ran for president last year, Joe Biden was the moderate in the group in that field. And now as he's become president of the United States and passed legislation beginning with the COVID relief bill, some of the executive actions he's taken, now looking at this massive infrastructure package, progressives I've talked to have ranged from pleasantly surprised by President Biden to stunned that they've gotten so much of their agenda through. Where do you fall on that spectrum in terms of your evaluation of President Biden?
Well, you know, Willie, I'd stop and say, remember last year, the president ran on a very progressive agenda. He said what he was going to do, that he was going to pass a big rescue package, build back better. That's the infrastructure package we're working on right now. Something I talk about a lot in my book, treat childcare as infrastructure. He said he was going to tax the wealthy and the well-connected. So in my view, he's doing what he told us he would do. Not only what he told us what he would do, what he got 7 million more votes to do than the other guy did. So I see this as he's a man who's fulfilling his promises.
Let's talk about the book. It is entitled Persist, which is something you definitely do. And it's about the challenges that you faced in life, how the issues and the work that you're doing now is deeply personal. I'm wondering if you could share what those issues are and how much your time during your incredible campaign on the campaign trail might have impacted how you now work today.
So think of it this way. I ran for president and I got to stand up day after day after day, multiple times a day, and talk to big crowds of people about childcare. Talk about it from a very personal point of view, something that I came that close to not having childcare and not being able to finish my education, not having childcare, not being able to keep my first real full-time teaching job. and how that problem is worse today than it was when I was a young mother. I got to fight for childcare. I got to fight to cancel student loans. I got to fight for a wealth tax. And now think where we are in America. Over this past year, we've lived through a pandemic, a racial reckoning, an armed insurrection. We have a new president. And as you said, we have passed an historic rescue package. That means the table is set for change. People want change. So what I do in this book is I talk about why policy, how policy touches us very personally. I tell my own stories, stories of people I love, but lay out the agenda for the changes we can make in the next 100 days that will affect our children for generations to come. It's a very hopeful book, but a lot of work in front of us.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.